Meeting with potential referral sources for your OT private pay practice is crucial to expanding your network and increasing the number of evaluations that you have coming in on a regular basis. And having that successful meeting is really critical to gently move the relationship forward from where, they've just heard about you to you actually becoming a trusted part of their network that they're going to refer to you regularly. But many OTs can feel nervous meeting with doctors or other referral parties and don't know how to gain that confidence, to meet with them. What do you say during it that's going to improve the odds of those people referring to you? And what do you do after the meeting to really deepen the relationship? So today, I am going to share with you how to actually prepare for these meetings, how to approach them, and what you should be doing afterwards so that you feel confident approaching these meetings and really getting the most out of them for your practice. Hi, I am Doug Vestal, and I help OTs just like you start and grow thriving private pay practices. My wife and I, we founded our own successful private pay practice back in New York City in 2014, and I make these videos to help you achieve success even quicker. So let's jump right in to how to have a productive meeting with potential referral sources. And I have 5 different things that I want you to think about. The first is be selective and have a criteria for who you should be approaching in the first place. Not every doctor or other healthcare provider is actually a good potential referral source. And really, you only have a limited amount of time and energy to pour into setting up these meetings. So number 1 is have a criteria set for who is most likely going to be a good referral source for you from the beginning. And the way to do this is the following. I want you to write down all of the people who have seen your client before you saw them. Who did they see before they came to your practice? Next, write down all of the people who would see your client after you. This collective group of people and providers, they are the most likely to be good referring party relationships with you because you're either a natural next step for their client or you yourself are a potential source of referrals for their business. Next, once you have this list, filter out by the people who are already private pay. You want to prioritize within this list those providers who already practice in the same manner as you. And this is because other private pay practice providers will more easily refer to other private pay providers. And their clients who already go to a private pay practice will be more likely to come see you, and it makes that conversation with the potential client so much easier. Only after you've gone through that list of private pay providers would I then focus on those that are non-private pay. Making sure that you are in the room with the right providers will exponentially really increase your chance of success. All right, so we've established that you are meeting with people who have a high likelihood of success. The second step for a successful meeting is to prepare mentally. I work with a lot of OTs who feel very intimidated by meeting with a doctor or other healthcare provider, right? They start to get really nervous. They start to doubt their own skills, and they can feel like there is this power hierarchy meeting with those other people. So what I want you to do is I want you to reframe this meeting. This meeting is a meeting of equals. That's really important. You are there to interview them as much as they are there to interview you, right? For you to attain the best outcomes possible for your client, you need other practitioners on your team. And you are there to make sure that this doctor or healthcare practitioner would be a good fit for your clients, right? Such that you want them on your team, right? We already know that just because everyone is in the healthcare field, that you aren't necessarily going to see eye to eye on everything, right? Different practitioners have different personalities, different perspectives, different priorities and different practice ethos. And you want to make sure that there is an alignment with the values in your practice and the values in their practice. They are not doing you a favor by meeting with you. You are not there to beg for referrals. This is really simply a meeting with two professionals who care deeply about their clients to see if there's actually an alignment in how you approach things. That's it. When you reframe it this way, and believe me, you will have to do this, self-talk more than a couple of times, it evens up the stakes for the meetings. And the last thing I would say for preparing mentally with this meeting is really try to put it in perspective. We can put so much of an unfair weight on ourselves for just one meeting. We are good at building things up in our own mind, right? Especially when it's something that's important to us. And before you know it, you can start catastrophizing what will happen if this meeting doesn't go well. But this is just one meeting in one afternoon on one day in 1 year of your life. Don't overstress about it. You will not be ruined if this meeting doesn't go well. You should absolutely prepare and show up professionally, but don't put so much pressure on yourself that it prevents you from actually performing. So after you have prepared mentally for the meeting, here's the third thing. I want you to prepare physically. And by this, I mean I want you to have physical things you bring to the meeting. And these physical things should take the form of rack cards, educational brochures, checklist, handouts, all those things. These items should be items that they will find value in, that they can start handing out immediately to their clients. So let me give you an example from our OT pelvic health practice in New York City. We had a very nice 16-page guidebook called Caring for Your Core, Back, and Pelvic Floor. It's a quick guide for new moms in those first few weeks postpartum. And in this 16-page guidebook was a ton of valuable free education to new moms and the issues they were dealing with postpartum. So we covered, leaking, checking for DR, the role of fiber with toileting, postural considerations for caring for their baby, and a whole lot more. So when we met with those potential referring parties, we brought these really nice color copies of this to the meeting, and it was something that they could immediately, that same day, start handing out to their clients. And I have to tell you, this was so much better than just giving them a business card. And this was so much powerful for two reasons, right? Number one is the valuable education made them themselves look good to their clients. And it really provided them with a much needed resource they didn't have. It filled a hole in their practice, and they were appreciative of it, right? The second was this information was valuable to their clients. Their clients were happy to receive it and would look on the back of it for our contact information. And one of the keys to moving the relationship forward is providing them something valuable before they ever do anything for you, right? So think about your ideal client. What problems are they struggling with that you can help them in an educational type manner, right? Create a trifold brochure, one pager, or a guidebook helping them exactly on that, and bring copies of this to your meeting with the practitioners to give to them. The fourth important thing for a successful meeting is, of course, what you do in the actual meeting itself. You want to walk into that meeting with some intentions that you have previously set. So remember what I said, this meeting is about a meeting of equals. So in the meeting, you should be asking them about their practice, right? Who are the clients that they really enjoy working with? Do not shy away from asking them technical questions either, so the two of you can really geek out on things. And what should you be looking for with your own clients so that you know when and who to refer to them? Next, they should come away from that meeting really knowing who your ideal client is, what makes you unique, and who they should refer to you. So the fifth piece of advice, my last one, is this meeting is just the first step. All right. You are building a referral relationship, and the emphasis is on that word relationship. And relationships take time and they take nurturing. I like to think about it in terms of dating, right? Your first meeting with them is kind of like a blind date, right? And you don't jump from a blind date directly to marriage. There are steps in between as you get to know one another. So you need to plan on nurturing this relationship. So not only are you on their radar more frequently, but they really actually get to know you over time. They see your passion and your expertise and how much you care. And this is where most OTs falter, unfortunately. I've heard many stories where someone says to me, yeah, I met them 3 months ago and I never heard anything. Do not fall into that trap, right? Approach this how you would any other relationships in your life. So nurture it, give to it, care for it, and step into that leadership position of being the one who goes first, right? Rather than waiting for someone else to contact you. And there are a few best practices to do this. Firstly, right after the meeting, you should definitely debrief and write down your observations from the meeting. Second, plan for an immediate follow-up. This should be a handwritten thank you note that you mail to them. I know it's old-fashioned, thanking them for the meeting, referencing something the two of you connected on, and letting them know that you will take good care of their clients. And then third, you want to have a sort of strategic, organic plan to stay in touch with them and put together really what I would recommend is like a little calendar to help you stay organized. So focus on those first 2 to 3 months after the meeting and plan to reach out to them every 2 to 3 weeks. Now, it is important in this outreach, you are not actually asking them for referrals. Instead, you are again providing them value. So send them an invitation to a community workshop that you are giving with a discount for their clients to attend. Send them more physical copies of your handouts that you gave them. If you will be at a community event, then send them a handwritten note letting them know that you're there and asking them to stop by your table. If you are organizing a local networking group, then invite them to come be a guest speaker. If you have your own podcast, invite them to be interviewed on your podcast. If you see a research article that's at the intersection of what they do and you, then print it out and mail it to them. If you write a blog article that would be helpful to their clients, then send that to them. You are literally limited by your imagination here. But the principle here is that you are staying in touch in a frequency that isn't pesky, and the type of outreach you are doing isn't one-sided in that you are asking for referrals. Instead, you are creating a relationship around the intersection of your two practices. Do this every 2 weeks for 2 to 3 months, and then take stock of where the relationship has blossomed to. And at that point, that's when you can decide whether or not to pivot and where to invest your energy. But you have to give it time. And you have to step into nurturing the relationship for you to really see those efforts pay off in the long run. And if you do this, then you can get 3 to 6 robust referral relationships established over time, which will provide you with a steady stream of referrals. And as you step even more fully into becoming an OT entrepreneur, you really want to make sure that you don't suffer from burnout doing that. So I'd recommend that you take a look at this video right here.